this Jew is proudly voted for Mumbai. I'm like, yeah, Rebecca, you're not Jewish. But Rick Jacobs has gotten a lot better since then. So, but we got to I've gotten to know them better, and we're talking more. Sure, man. I love it. She's fun.
I'm not very presumptuous about anything.
No, she's fine.
She was with us, if you remember, in 2023.
Yeah. We were just reminiscing. We had a great time. We were just talking about that. Should we put this on the road? Yeah. Okay, guys, we're gonna start.
We're gonna do something. I thought this was fun.
Well, look, we're trying to drown this out. Hey, how's it going? Nice to see you. And then who's first? Oh, okay. That's no sound. Shh. Yeah. This one's not working. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Temple Beth Am. I'm Rabbi Barris. From here at Beth Am, we're delighted and honored to have clergy from so many different synagogues in town. And it's so nice when we bring all of the synagogues together. And for Tisha B'Av, if you bring every synagogue together in Miami, you can almost fill like a quarter of the room for Tisha B'Av. It's incredible. So, next year maybe we'll try to get 11 or 12 more synagogues and see if we can fill every seat. So. But tonight's a serious night. Tonight's a night that has taken on even a greater and more powerful significance since October 7th. Now because we are one of those generations that are in the midst of suffering, the midst of pain, and a reemergence and new mutation and new wave of anti-Semitism, hatred of the Jewish people, which has led to our suffering. As we begin tonight, I wanted to just share a quick idea to begin. At the end of the book of Genesis, we notice that as Joseph is in charge and everyone's coming to buy food from him because there's nowhere else to buy food, all of the money in the world, all the gold and the silver arrives in Egypt. And eventually people say to Joseph, "We don't have any more money." And he says, "Okay, you'll bring other things, but all of the money, all of the gold and all of the silver was in..." All of the gold and silver was in Egypt. And when the Jews were about to leave during the plague of darkness, God told them, "Go and take all of the gold and all of the silver." And they took that gold and that silver and they used it to build the tabernacle. And eventually they used it to build the first holy temple. When the first holy temple was destroyed on Tisha B'Av and the Jews were eventually exiled, all of that money and gold and silver that was stolen by the Babylonians and Nebuchadnezzar ended up in Babylonia. And the Midrash teaches us in Esther Rabbah, and it's also mentioned in the Talmud, that all of Haman's mass riches came from the gold and silver that he found, that he discovered, that Nebuchadnezzar had stolen from the first temple. But when Esther took over, and her son Darius II became king, according to the Talmud, they gave all of that gold and silver back to the Jews. And what did the Jews do with it? They went back and rebuilt the second temple. Well, when the second temple was destroyed, what we remember tonight on Tisha B'Av, and all of our treasures were again taken away. They went off into the world, into Rome, into Europe, and were seemingly gone forever. But if you think about tonight, the three people who really tried to kill and destroy and wipe out Judaism. I mean, a lot of people maybe wanted to, but 3 really tried: Pharaoh, Haman, and Hitler. Yimach Shemam, may their memories be erased. But when the 3rd Commonwealth was built, it was again on the backs of reparations from Germany that we built the 3rd Commonwealth. And so tonight is a night of destruction and remembering the destruction of the first temple and the destruction of the second temple, but it's also a night to remember our martyrs and the resilience of the Jewish people. Our enemies took and stole and robbed us, but each time we recovered by taking our stuff back and giving it to God, using it to build the first temple, Pharaoh's money building the first temple, Haman's money building the second temple, and the Nazis' money, Yimach Shemam, building the 3rd Commonwealth, the state of Israel. So tonight we remember the destruction, but we also remember the martyrs of our people, the resilience of the Jewish people, and our commitment to Torah that has allowed us to exist and to continue L'dor Vador, from generation to generation. Al Naharot Ba'avel, we're going to look now from words from Psalm 137, which is found on page 5.
Let us turn together in our Sidurim to page 8. We continue with our somber service this evening, a call to the heart, Eicha Rabbah. We do not read these words merely to feel sorrow. We read them to awaken the heart. We read them to remember that destruction does not come from outside alone. It comes also from within, from hatred, arrogance, and indifference. If we learn from the past, we can build a future of justice and compassion. If we turn our hearts toward one another, we can become a community of holiness. Let us say together, Amen. Turn us, O God, to you, and we shall return. Renew our days as of old, and may your kindness be upon us.
Megillat Eicha. Megillat Eicha is in your books. Starts on page 9. We read chapter 1, 1 through 5.
Eicha Yoshva Vadad Ha'ir Rabati Yam Haeta Ki Almana Rabati Vagoyim Sarati Bamdinot Haeta Lahamas Bachut Ivke Balayla Vedimata Alechia En La Menachem Mikol Ohaveha Kol Re'eha Bagduva Hayula Le'oivim Galata Yehuda Me'oni Umerov Avodah Hi Yoshva Vagoyim Lo Matzah Manoach Kol Rodfeha Hisigoha Ben Hamatzarim Darche Tzion Avelot Mibli Ba'e Moed Kol Shareha Shomemin Kohaneha Nenachim Betuloteha Nugot Vehi Malach Hayu Tzareha lerosh, oiveha shalu, ki Adonai hoga, arov peshaeha, olaleha, halchu shevi, lifnei tzar.
I continue on the next page with this poem by Rachel Barenblatt. The Mishnah says, senseless hatred knocked the temple down, not the Romans with their siege engines, or not only them, but our ancestors too, who slipped into petty backbiting, ignored Shabbat, forgot how to offer their hearts. We're no better. We who secretly know we're right, holier than they, we who roll our eyes and patronize, who check email even on the holiest of days, who forget that a prayer is more than a tune, more than words on a page. In Oslo, parents weep, and we're too busy arguing, motive to comfort them. Across the Middle East, parents weep, and we're too busy arguing borders to comfort them. In our nursing homes, parents weep, shuddering and alone, and we're too busy. Even now, what sanctuaries, what human hearts are damaged and burned, while we snipe at each other or insist we're not responsible or look away.
On page 12, with overflowing joy, the women of our trip gathered at the Western Wall to welcome Shabbat alongside Jewish women from all around the world. Though we spoke different languages, we were united by our shared heritage and our sacred prayers. Singing Hine Matov, David Melech Yisrael, Shalom Aleichem, and Kol HaOlam Kulo. Our circle grew until hundreds of women were dancing together. For many, it was the first time they had experienced such unbridled Jewish joy and such a profound sense of belonging to Am Yisrael, a moment that would shape their Jewish lives forever. Then, in an instant, it all changed. A small group of girls and their teachers entered our circle, shouting that we did not belong and questioning our Jewish identity. They pulled at my hair and tore off my yarmulke, turning tears of joy into tears of violation. Standing at our people's holiest site, we experienced hatred from fellow Jews. It left me wondering, have we forgotten that Derech Eretz Kadma LaTorah, common decency precedes Torah? Have we forgotten that the Second Temple was destroyed because of sinat chinam, baseless hatred? We still have a long way to go before we can truly sing, Hine matov uman na'im shevet achim gam yachad, how good it is when we dwell together in a spirit of love rather than judgment.
We continue now on page 14.
Tisha B'Av, the 9th of Av, commemorates a list of horrific moments in Jewish history, so severe that a day was set aside by God for suffering.
First, around the year 1313 BCE, the Israelites are finally prepared to enter the Promised Land. They send spies who return on the 8th day of Av and report that the land is unconquerable. On the eve of the 9th of Av, our people cried and never entered the Holy Land. Only their children had that privilege of wandering in the desert for another 38 years.
Second, the first temple was destroyed on the 9th of Av, 586 BCE. 5 centuries later, in 70 CE, as the Romans drew closer to the Second Temple, and the Jews once again realized that their Second Temple would be destroyed just like the first one.
Third, the Jewish people trusted their leader, Simon Bar Kokhba, who led them against Roman rule. Their hopes were soon destroyed as the Jewish rebels were brutally butchered in the final battles at Beitar, and the date of the massacre was again the 9th of Av.
As we continue throughout history, we seem to be haunted by the 9th of Av. The Jews were expelled from England in 1290 CE on Tisha B'Av. In 1492, the golden age of Spain came to a close with the cruel and callous Queen Isabella and her husband Ferdinand. They ordered that all Jews be banished from the land or forced to convert to Catholicism. The edict was signed on March 31st, 1492, and the Jews were given 4 months to leave the country with nothing, no property, no money. The Hebrew date on which no Jew could remain in Spain was the 9th of Av.
And finally, another devastating historical moment to remember is the war between Germany and Russia, effectively catapulting the First World War into motion on the 9th of Av, Tisha B'Av. Historians conclude that the long drawn-out conclusion of World War I laid the groundwork for the Holocaust.
ישראל, לא זכה אדום רגליו ביום אפו. בילה אדוני ולא חמל, את כל נאות יעקב הרס בברתו. מבצרי בת יהודה הגיע לארץ, חילל ממלכה ושריה, גדע בחורייו. כל קרן ישראל השיב אחור, ימינו מפני אויב, ויבער ביעקב כאש להבה, אכלה סביב. דרך קשתו כאויב, ניצב ימינו כצר, ויהרוג כל מחמדי עין. באוהל בציון שפך כאש חמתו, היה אדוני כאויב, בילה ישראל, בילה כל ארמנותיה, שיחת מבצריו. וירד בבת יהודה תעניה ועניה.
שומר, שומר ישראל, שומר, שומר ישראל, שמו שארית ישראל, שמו שארית ישראל, ויאמר ישראל, האומרים שמה ישראל, ויאמר ישראל, האומרים שמה ישראל.
A vanished world, Abraham Joshua Heschel. I asked for wonder. A world has vanished. All that remains is a sanctuary hidden in the realm of spirit. We, of this generation, are still holding the key. Unless we remember, unless we unlock it, the holiness of ages will remain a secret of God. We, of this generation, are still holding the key to the sanctuary, which is also the shelter of our deserted souls. If we mislay the key, we shall elude ourselves. In this hour, we, the living, are the people of Israel. The tasks begun by the patriarchs and prophets and continued by their descendants are now entrusted to us. We are either the last Jews or those who will hand over the entire past to generations to come. We will either forfeit or enrich the legacy of ages.
Nothing in Judaism can be simple. So we had a beautiful melody that you heard from chapter 1 and chapter 2. But lo and behold, chapter 3 has its own little melody, and it's in 3-line groups. So you'll see that I will sing one line that you don't have in your packet. אני הגבר העוני בשבט עברתו, אותי נהג ויולך חושך ולא אור, אך בי ישוב יהפוך ידו כל היום. בילה בשרי ואורי שיבר עצמותיי, בנה עלי ויקף ראש ותלאה, במחשכים הושיבני כמתי עולם.
שלא ייגמר לעולם. החול והים, רשרוש של המים, ברק השמיים, תפילת האדם. החול והים, רשרוש של המים, ברק השמיים, תפילת האדם.
God, my God, I pray that these things never end. The sand and the sea, the rush of the waters, the crash of the heavens, the prayer of the heart, the sand and the sea, the rush of the waters, the crash of the heavens, the prayer of the heart.
The sand and the sea, the rush of the waters, the crash of the heavens, the prayer of the heart.
The mourners of Sion. Our masters taught, when the temple was destroyed the second time, large numbers in Israel practiced self-denial, binding themselves neither to eat meat nor to drink wine. Rabbi Joshua got into conversation with them and said, "My sons, why do you eat no meat and drink no wine?" They replied, "Shall we drink wine which formerly was poured as libation on the altar, now that it is poured no longer?" He said to them, "If so, we should eat no bread because the meal offerings have ceased." They replied, "Perhaps we will manage with fruit." Rabbi Joshua said, "We should not eat fruit either because first fruits are offered no more." They replied, "Perhaps we will manage with other fruits." The rabbi said, "Well then, we should not drink water because the rite of pouring water is no longer observed." They kept silent, and he continued, My sons, come and let me advise you. Not to mourn at all is impossible, because the decree that the temple be destroyed has been executed and requires mourning. But to mourn too much is also impossible, because we may not impose a hardship on the community unless the majority can endure it. Therefore, the sages have ordained the following. A man may plaster his house, but he should leave a small space uncovered. A man who is preparing all that is needed for a feast should leave out some small ingredient. And if a woman is putting on all her ornaments, she must omit one of them, for it is said, if I forget thee, O Jerusalem, let my tongue cleave to the roof of my mouth.
Echa yu am zahav, yishne ha-ketem ha-tov, tishtachena avdei kodesh, berosh kol hutzot, b'nei Tzion ha-yekarim, ha-mesulaim ba'paz, echa nechbu, lenivlei cheresh, ma'aseh yedei yotzaher. Gam tanim chalutz shahad, heiniku gurehen, bat ami le'ach zahar, ke yeanim bamidbar, davak leshon yonek, elchiko bat sama, olalim sha'alu lechem, poresh ein lahem, Ha'ochlim lemadanim nashmu bachutzot ha'emunim alechula chibku ashpatot vayigdal avon bat amihi mechatat sedom ha'hafucha chemoraga velo chaluva yadayim.
Nachamu, Nachamu, Ami, comfort, comfort my people, based on this Shabbat's Parsha, Shabbat Nachamu, Prophet Isaiah. Nachamu, Nachamu, Ami, Omar Elohim. Nachamu, Nachamu, Ami Yomar Elohechem. Nachamu, Nachamu, Ani Yomar Elohechem. Nachamu, Nachamu, Ani Yomar Elohechem. Comfort us in our wilderness. Comfort us as we struggle to take care of one another. Comfort us in our wilderness. Comfort us as we struggle with this world. Nachamu, Nachamu, Ami Yomar Elohechem. Nachamu, Nachamu, Ami
a Tisha B'Av lament for the war of October 7th. Would my head be filled with water and my eyes a fountain of tears? I would cry all my days and nights for the corpses of my babes and infants and the aged of our people. I ask you to respond and join me in weeping, much weeping, together for the house of Israel and the people. My eyes flow with tears, and I will take myself to the fields to weep and ask others, stunned and embittered, to join me in my wailing for the beautiful young women and vibrant young men kidnapped and led to slaughter, more beautiful and radiant than rubies, sapphire, or turquoise. They were slung and trampled like mud in the streets. For these I cry and moan. Outside there is murder, and indoors terror. In Be'eri and Re'im, Kfar Aza and Sderot, our corpses strewn, bodies lying like refuse, for wild beasts and animals, nursing children and the aged, young men and women, tormented by our attackers, enduring great shame. For the honor of Israel. Please join me as we read together. My eyelids flow with water, dripping tears. I weep bitterly for the murdered of Sahel, Israel's defense force. They assembled, risking everything, to courageously battle for God's name and to protect his people, the mightily who readily do his will. They were prepared to die for their love for their nation. I will moan for them with a torrent of fears, all of them deserving the greatest honor, while their families readily supported their sacrifice for strength for them. I let out a piercing cry, along with our grief for the destruction of both temples raised today, for the house of Israel and the people of the Lord who have fallen by the sword. Together, the house of Israel and the people of the Lord, arising like a lion, pursuing justice, which achieve our salvation. May Hashem strike down our enemies and foil their plots, while our children do his will, Israel through whom he is glorified. Behold that it is our God, may we see and declare. And where there is God will no longer be said. We will not silence our prayers until his honor is restored and our ruins repaired. We long to see his shining beauty. Peace unto us and peace to our support.
Those who sow in tears will reap in joy, will reap in joy. Those who sow in tears will reap in joy. Those who sow in tears will reap in joy, will reap in joy. Those who sow in tears will reap in joy. It's the song of the dreamer. From a dark place it grows, like a flower in the desert, the oasis of our souls. Come back where we belong. You hear our longing cries.
Cause our lips are filled with song. You can see our tear-filled eyes. Those who sow. Those who sow in tears will reap in joy, will reap in joy. Those who sow in tears will reap in joy. Those who sow in tears reap in joy, will reap in joy. Those who sow in tears will reap in
We continue on page 31 with a passage by Rabbi Alan Liu. We spend a great deal of time and energy propping up our identity, an identity we realize at bottom is really a construct. So it is that we are always living at some distance from ourselves. We live in a fearful stage of siege, trying to prop up an identity that keeps crumbling, that we secretly intuit to be empty. Then Tisha B'Av comes, and the walls begin to crumble, and then the entire city collapses. But something persists, something fundamentally nameless and empty, something that remains when all else has fallen away. Will we turn? Will we let the walls of our psyche fall with the walls of the great temple? Will we let in the truth we have been walling out all year long, and let the truth help us to stop making the same mistakes again and again? Will we let this moment of consciousness help us break the unconscious momentum of our lives? Will we move from a stage of siege to a stage of openness, to a state of truthfulness, especially with ourselves? What might we see as a result? What deep wellspring would suddenly become apparent to us? What patterns would we see ourselves repeating? What larger gesture would we see about to it ourselves in our lives? What do we need to embrace?
Nafela hateret roshenu, oina lahanu ki chatanu. Al zeh hayad aver libenu, al ele chashechu einenu, al har Tzion sheshamem shualim hilechu vo, ata Adonai leolam teshev, ki zachar ledor vador, lama lanetzach tishkachenu, tazvenu leorech yamim. Hashivenu Adonai elecha v'nashuva, chadesh yameinu kekedem, ki imaos me'aztanu, katzavta leinu ad me'od. Hashivenu Adonai elecha v'nashuva, chadesh yameinu kedem.
Our service continues on page 34. Prophet Yeshayahu, a song of hope. But those who hope in the eternal shall renew their strength. They shall soar on wings like eagles. They shall run and not grow weary. They shall walk and not faint. The youth shall grow weary and faint, and the young men shall stumble and fall. But those who hope in the eternal shall renew their strength. They shall soar on the wings like eagles. They shall run and not grow weary. They shall walk and not faint. But those who hope in the eternal shall renew their strength. They shall soar on wings like eagles. They shall run and not grow weary. They shall walk and not faint.
Let us pray these concluding words on page 35 responsively. We have wept for the city that once was full, for the temple that was the heart of our people, for the destruction born of hatred, arrogance, and indifference. Our hearts ache for what has been lost. Not only the stones, but the spirit, not only the walls, but the ways. We turned from one another and from what is holy. Tisha B'Av is not only a day of mourning, it is also a day of truth, a day to see clearly, to take responsibility, or to choose a different path. Together, comfort, O comfort my people, says your God. Speak tenderly to Jerusalem and cry to her that her warfare is ended, that her iniquity is pardoned, that she has received from the Lord's hand double for all her sins. Amen.
So we conclude this Tisha B'Av service on the final page. It's thank you to all my colleagues here. It's my first event with all of you. I hope we'll have a happier one soon, and thanks to Liera for the beautiful music. This is a gorgeous song. I hope you'll sing it with us, by Ilana Arian and Noah Aronson, two great new Jewish composers, contemporary composers. And it's about, essentially, what this day is about is tshuva, is us doing tshuva, we call it return, for sinat chinam, for hating one another, not loving one each other enough. And we are taught in the Hasidic tradition that tshuva, the word, can be broken up into tashuv hey, return the hey. You actually spell tshuva, you got a hey at the end. Tashuv hey is what it spells, which means returning the actual hey of God's four-letter name. So somehow in history and also in our personal lives, what we've done can dislocate that letter from God's name. We can affect it, but we can also return it. And that's what we're doing now, together here in Miami, here in America, here in the world, all of us Jews. And let this be the year we truly return the hay and return to what we in Reformed Judaism believe in, Yemei HaMashiach, the days of the Messianic era.
We return.
We return.
We return.
Sing. We return. We return. Return again.
We return.
We return.
We return.
We return. We return. Return again to love, to love. return.
We return.
We return.
We return.
Together. We return, return again. We return. We return. We return. We return. We return, return again. To truth. To
We return.
We return.
We return.
We return. We return, return again.
We return.
We return.
We return.
We return. We return, return again to you. To you. We return again to you. Thank you for coming. Have an easy fast.
Aaron.